after services. You might notice two rabbis here. Oh, welcome. I see, we just went live. That's so cool. I can actually see it. So welcome wherever you are, whether you're in our Zoom room here, and I think we have, I don't know, it looks like some 36 participants.
Let's go.
Or if you're watching us in some other way, we're so glad to have you. We're going to ask you now to mute yourself as we get started, just because of Zoom. It'll just bounce the sound around if we're not careful here. And we got a beautiful service. Many of you are dressed in your Shir Shalom strong clothing, and it looks great, although it looks like we're all twins. I feel like I woke up and, sometimes couples, we dress the same way, and you don't realize it till you leave the house. I feel like we woke up and we're all dressed the same way by accident, right? Let's just take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air. And I'm going to turn it over to Bruce, newly vaccinated Bruce, to offer our introduction.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to our Shir Shalom Strong Shabbat, courtesy of Sheila with her fabulous idea. So Shir Shalom Sheila came up with the Shir Shalom Strong, and we are having a Shir Shalom Strong Shabbat. And I just sprayed all over my computer screen with all of that. But the Shir Shalom Strong message is so important because it really dovetails on what I talked about last week. Last week we marked our 1 year anniversary of really dealing with COVID, and last week was the 1 year anniversary of the first service that we had to do in the sanctuary with no people. And I remember at the time saying to Rabbi Alex, we'll take it on a week-by-week basis. And we've been taking it on a week-by-week basis for 52 weeks now. But we have remained strong throughout this time. And this is our message. Shir Shalom is strong. I said last week that we should add a third R to who we are. We are reformed, we are reformed, we are reconstructionist, and we are resilient. And we are strong, and we are going to continue to be that way. We will get through this, and we will continue to be here. We will be here as a family in whatever way we can be. So let's celebrate Shir Shalom Strong tonight and look forward to what's coming up in the coming weeks, because we have lots of good things coming up as we continue to be together in whatever way we can. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Bruce. And just a reminder, because we're going to switch more into the singing session. If you could just make sure you're on a mute here. And I'm going to turn it over to Cantor. I know she's got a wonderful version of Hine Ma Tov planned, I believe.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Just go ahead, play your intro, sorry. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יא לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יא לה 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 לה. Sing with me. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יא לה 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 לה. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
We're going to turn now to our candle lighting and Kiddush. So many of you have lit the candles beforehand, but if you want to light your candles, I see Linda Bergman lighting her candles. You're going to do it symbolically. It looks like Cantor has her candles too. Linda, you did that so beautifully. Not everyone can see everyone in the sheet screen share, although I get two of everyone here. You did that so smoothly. It's hard to light the candles. Oh, all right, I'll turn it over to Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. Oh, I'm sorry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Blessed are you, the candles that light our way through Shabbat. So wonderful to have you here. It's so wonderful to have sunlight again at the beginning of Shabbat. We turn it over to Kiddush now.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי באנו ובחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. L'chaim. I saw a number of people brought their own Kiddush cup with you, and they were holding it up and saying L'chaim. That's wonderful tradition. So we're going to officially welcome in Shabbat now with L'chad Odi, and we'll do it as if we are all together the best we can. We're going to sing just those two verses, the first and the last of the prayer. On the last verse, we'll rise and we'll face one another, or the doorway, or wherever you are looking, as we imagine each other together again.
2, 3, 4. L'chad Odi, לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת עדי, לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה, לה 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 לה. l'chad Odi, לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. l'chad Odi, לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, נשיב על תפארת ולתפילה, לה 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 לה. l'chad Odi, לקראת כלה, פני Shabbat מקבלה לך דודי לך קלה פני Shabbat מקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תחם עיני עם סגולה בואי כלה לך דודי לך קלה פני Shabbat מקבלה לך דודי לך קלה פני Shabbat מקבלה לה 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 לך דודי לך קלה פני Shabbat מקבלה לך דודי לך קלה פני Shabbat
Wonderful. Last week when Cantor and I were together, I felt like finally we get stereo because we're here on our Zoom screens, but it still sounds great. We're going to rise or continue to rise for our Baruch Hu, our call to community.
Lie, 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 Avorach Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Leolam Vaed Lai 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 ya lai 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 lai
O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet further than the farthest most star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. The Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
seated.
Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha ובכל מיעוטך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי לצווך היום על לבבך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשיטתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם זהות הידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני Adonai Elohechem.
Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety. In your presence, our acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai apares sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Get ready to clap.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat לעשות את השבת בתורתם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת בתורתם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת בתורתם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת בתורתם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת בתורתם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת בתורתם ברית עולם.
We'll now have an opportunity for our private prayer and devotion. Take a few minutes just for your own thoughts and prayers, and we'll resume services afterwards.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Now we give Cantor and Mike jazz hands there as a way, just like when we're in the sanctuary. First, as we go to the Mishaberach, our prayer for healing, our computers needed a little healing in the office. And I want to tell you how wonderful Nancy McGorry in our office is, because she was not able to even send me the link because our Verizon's been working behind the scenes the last couple of days. She actually brought it into my mailbox at home. these sheets so that I would have the list. How very thoughtful. So if you do see Nancy, we couldn't do our services without her. Also, you might notice in this that as Cantor was standing, there is a brace on her left arm, I believe, and she can't play her ukulele. I don't know if you wanted to say anything, Cantor, about it.
I'll get through it. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll send healing prayers to her because we know as a musician, I can only imagine for those of you that are musicians how hard that is when you have injuries like that. Other names that we have. Oh, and thank you for putting them out there. I'll go see if I can sort through them. But if you do want names, you can put them in the chat box. We're thinking today about Lee Applebaum, Linda Bergman, please God. We're sending a lot of prayers to you, Linda. Andrew Joseph Bernard, Marietta Bratton, Sonia Breitbart, Kim Brodsky, Michael Berwick, Arthur Dzelke, Dave Gajewski, Nancy Hersbrun, Sue Hill, Howard Hilfstein, Ruth Lansing. Just so you know, Ruth had a fall late last night, and she just had successful hip surgery just a few hours ago. We got word from Tom. It's looking very good, but Ruth, who's 102, going on 103, we're sending a lot of prayers her way. Charles Lemansky, Diane Lynch, Kathy Mass, Michael Massimo, Frank Petrie, Karen Place, Richard Radis, Martin and Barbara Scher, Diane Simons, Gail Willig-Smith, Gretchen Solander, Lorenzo Stewart, Cindy Walgate, Mindy Weinman, Fred Weiner, Lauren Wolf and family, and Hannah Ezra Ben Shuel. And let me see about all the names you sent me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. Roger Bezwenger, and I apologize. Please apologize for any mispronunciation. Jeannie Smith, Carreri Cooper, Bobby Millman, Richie Mario, Jesse Frank Cohan, Sue Hill, we mentioned, President Biden, Barbara Lyons, Kathy Cooper, Ruth Dunphy and Marge Sisley, Stacy DeBruin, Lisa Scortino, Rachel Don, Kathy T. Cherry, and baby Kyra, Sharon Burstein Walker, and Jason Marks. So we send prayers to all those you mentioned and all those that aren't mentioned, and I'll turn it back to Cantor to lead the prayer with Mike.
Mishaberach Avavotenu Mikol HaBracha V'Himavotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imavotenu Mikol HaBracha Lavavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Complete healing of body and soul. And Shir, just let me know that some people have been writing names into Facebook. We so much appreciate that. We just don't have access to that. So we're sending prayers to whoever you're sending. Oh, wonderful. I think that's a beautiful prayer. And thank you for putting that together. May God bless this holy community and all other communities united through sacred work, them, their children, their children's children, and all that surrounds them, impart blessings and good fortune on all the works of their hands. Beautiful blessing.
משברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב שרה רבקה רחל ולאה משברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה, ויברך את כל הקהל הקדוש הזה עם כל קהילות הקודש הם ובניהם ובנותיהם וכל אשר להם הם בניהם ובנותיהם וכל אשר להם וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם עם כל ישראל אחיהם ונאמר in honor of Shir Shalom Strong.
Thank you, Cantor. So beautiful. And I know we're all sending prayers to you. Please, we really appreciate your music, and we hope you can have the ukuleles sooner than later. So when Sheila first came to me and I think our office about the plan for Shir Shalom Strong, I thought this is exactly what I've been hoping for all these years since we started. We're actually heading into our 9th year. We're only a year and a half from being 10 years old, or I don't know how that fits exactly, but July 1st of 2022. Shir Shalom.
We'll be heading into our 10th year.
Yeah, 10th year.
As we approach our 10th anniversary.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close. It's hard to believe. And when Bruce, you were there at the beginning, we couldn't imagine the community that we would help to create, and that all of us would help to create. We hoped and we dreamed. I had such a good feeling from the beginning when Temple Beth Am and Temple Sinai first met. There was really a sense that it was meant to happen that way. There was a familiarity in our stories and in the people of our communities, from Susan Whaley, who had been part of both of our communities, to our histories that both of us, the beginning suburban congregations. And it just felt right. It felt like the right time. And when we took the Torahs and we walked across 3 miles on a beautiful sunny day there on 2012. We really felt like there was something magical happening. We didn't really know what, but we knew that unlike a lot of mergers that feel very dispirited and feel like something's being taken away, we were also being given something, a new opportunity to tell a new story. As a rabbi, I felt invigorated to know that we could take something new that had never been done before, a reform and reconstructionist congregation, a resilient congregation, something that could not only make a difference to all of our membership, but had the capacity to change the way the Jewish community works. And I've always seen that, but Temple Sinai and Temple Beth Am were both modest synagogues. Like a lot of Buffalo, we don't like to brag about ourselves. We like to hold back, and we don't always understand how important we are in the greater picture. Actually, Joanne and I were meeting with Chana Katzin this week and Mark Slonim to talk about planning for the 10th year, and also we got a lot of new archival material. Chana has helped put together through the Jewish Federation a wonderful website that has a record of Temple Sinai, of Temple Beth Am, and Congregation Shir Shalom. It was so funny to look at the Congregation Shir Shalom slide and to realize we're part of history now. That there is a sense that we've been here long enough that it feels real, that our beginning is different than where we are now, that it's starting to be that we could lose track of different changes along the way. And that's a wonderful and a scary position. It's a little like, my kids, they're getting older, and soon we might have to say goodbye to them and they have to be independent. And that's always a scary prospect. And it's a little like that when you start a congregation. So I want to talk a little bit about what it means to be called, not just as individuals. Sometimes we, as a rabbi, people will say, did you have a calling? And as a Reconstructionist rabbi, originally trained, I would say, no, I do not have a calling, because Mordecai Kaplan hated callings. But the more I thought about it, I thought, yes, this was a calling in the sense that anyone here who has a profession that they fell in love with, or that the profession fell in love with them, that it was a calling. It was meant to be. This was how you could do the most good in the world. And so that's how it felt to be a rabbi. But I think it's not just for a community, for an individual, but it's also for a community. So I'm going to share with you from this week's Torah portion just a little Devar Torah. So as the screen is coming on, it's fun to use two different devices. Vayikra, which means a calling or a happenstance. So did we just arrive at something, or was it meant to be in a specific way? So if we look at the beginning of Vayikra, apologize, it's a little blurry here, but you can see here at the beginning, I'll show you my pointer. I think you can see this. This olive here is smaller than the rest of the letters. This is actually not a typo, or it potentially is. It could have been an ancient typo. But when every Torah that we have is written, the first 4 letters of Vayikra, the word that begins Leviticus, are written big, and the olive is small. And we do have this with a number of times in the Torah. It's rare, and it's an opportunity to explain. Likely, it's just a typo. There were typos even back then. But the fun thing is the rabbis say there's no such thing as a typo. We make meaning from it. We find a new meaning. So here are a couple of commentaries. These are medieval commentaries. This one's from France, says Cuny, a popular commentary from around the 12th century. And it says, for the beginning, he called out to Moses, meaning God, seeing that the Torah had concluded the end of book of Exodus with the words, The glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle so that Moses was unable to enter the sanctuary. It was necessary to let us know that God called out to him, gave Moses permission to enter the sanctuary. So part of the question is, usually God talks to Moses a little like I talk to people on the phone sometimes, where suddenly I'll just start talking like you're already in the middle of a conversation. And that's sort of how it usually happens. Vayomer el Moshe, God spoke to Moses, just like that. But Vayikra is different because God has to call out. Well, why does he need to call out? And this commentary is saying God needs to call out because Moses needs to be invited in, that we need permission to go into the sanctuary, permission to go to God. This is a dangerous proposition, permission to do what we need to do. And I think that that's part of it. But let's look at the fun thing that they do here. This is also medieval. This is from Spain, the Kitzur Bal HaTorim, also from around 12th, 13th century. And so it says, and he called. The Aleph of Vayikra is written as a small letter because Moshe wanted to write the word Vayikar. And Vayikar means it just happened. I happened to be there. It's not important. I just happened to be there. The way it is written regarding Bilam. So Bilam is a non-Jewish prophet that comes in the book of Numbers, and he's just called. He doesn't get the honor that Moses receives, which implies God appeared to him only as a chance occurrence. He was out on the way. God was there. It happened. He didn't come specifically to him. But God, however, told Moses to write the Aleph, which indicates God's love, but Moshe made it small. So here you have it. Suddenly it's part of a dialogue that Moses wants to say, I'm humble. I'm the humblest person there is. I just happened to be at the right stage. I happened to be at the burning bush. I happened to be the leader. It wasn't anything extraordinary. Anyone could have done this. And God is saying, no, elevate yourself. Show yourself that you're important. Make that olive big to know that you were called, that what you're doing, who you are, is important. So as we look at Shir Shalom, what does it mean to be Shir Shalom strong? I saw Gail Lewis is here with us tonight, and she led the process that led to the document you see here. This is on our website. We also have a signed copy from our first year together by our sanctuary. And this is about our mission. Gail actually went to every group in our congregation at the time, and she talked to them about what was most important, and she was able to achieve consensus, which was somewhat of a miracle in itself. Our mission is to be a welcoming community to enhance all aspects of Jewish life. Look how broad we were. This is our first year together, and we're putting this together. We're Reform and Reconstructionists, but not just that. We're diverse and multi-generational, inclusive and interfaith. We share joy in Judaism, lifelong learning, traditions with flexibility. And we affirm that reinterpreting our heritage, repairing the world, embracing uniqueness and unity, recognizing the relevance of Israel. We have a purpose, a calling. We're not just here. We're not just here because of two congregations that were having financial problems and that saw that right now that they needed to do this to strengthen their finances or to secure their future. We're here because we have a greater purpose. I sent this document that I'm about to share to Bruce earlier in the week. This came from a reading from the group I'm part of, the Clergy Leadership Institute. These are the 10 qualities of a strong community. As I texted Bruce these, I said, I think we epitomize all of them. We have excellence.
Do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Excellence, and we do not settle for mediocrity. Risk. We encourage experimentation and understand failures as opportunities to do things better next time. Reflexivity. Everything is constantly pondered and deliberated upon. Optimism. People believe in themselves and in their ability to do the right thing. Mutuality. Boundaries are porous, roles change freely, people mix and mingle across lay clergy divides. Everyone learns from everyone. No one stands on ceremony. I definitely feel that we wouldn't have these shirts if Sheila stood back and said, that's the clergy responsibility. She took ownership over it. Honor. People support one another, credit each other, show up for each other. We definitely have that. Transparency. People work truthfully, trustingly. Compassion. The desire for excellence is mediated by and channeled into concern for others. And we have felt that this year during the pandemic. Meaningfulness. Success is gauged by meaningful experiences that link people horizontally to one another. In other words, we eliminate the need for the vertical, for the hierarchy, and vertically to a sense of transcendence. We feel that sense of godliness and joy. People have fun. And I think we definitely do. Meetings are rewarding as events they plan. Transformation becomes a fun-filled way of life, not a once-in-a-lifetime chore to get beyond. So as we think about Shir Shalom going into our 10th year, it's just shocking. I can't even say it, Bruce. That was the problem. We're going into our 10th year. I think we've been able to achieve this. It's been hard work, but it's been fun. And I think when we walk around town and we have these Shir Shalom strong paraphernalia, whether it's masks or sweatshirts or T-shirts, and if you didn't get any in the first run, I'm sure we'll get some more for our gift shop as well. Wear it proudly because we're a community that makes a difference, that has a purpose. It's not just happenstance. It's a calling. It's a calling. And it's a wonderful calling. Thank you for everyone for being part of this journey and for making me the happiest rabbi I can ever imagine. So thank you so much. So we're going to go back to the service. I will send the links that Hannah sent to the Temple Sinai, Temple Beth Am, and Shir Shalom websites, and you can feel free to look at them. And I think Mark is going to link them to our own website as well. We'll turn now. I think we're ready for Aleinu. Is that what we're going to? I invite you to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Okay, sorry, I'm still trying to work with this, but we're going to turn to our morning Kaddish. And I had a chance to get my first vaccine today, and the guard there was very distraught, a larger African-American man, and he was saying he lost his father. And I told him we'd put his father's name on our list and we'd say it and think about him. It was so hard for him to be at work, and I felt terrible. So the least we can do is honor his dad in this way. His dad's name was Levy Palmer Jr., and I hope it's a blessing and that our prayers help him as well. We're also thinking about people that died in the past month: Herb Foster, Francis Massimo, Dewey McGoy, and Muriel Rosenthal. And on our yard site list from years past, we remember Solomon Barden, Pauline Bash, Max Brody, William Kamen, Lorraine Dweck, Joel Ehrenreich, Irving Fudeman, Uri Gagner, Fanny Galperin, Robert G. Gidden, Francis Cohen Goldman, Rev. Emmanuel Gordon, Abraham Greenman, Charles Hoffman, Dr. Eric Kaminsky, Harriet A. Kantrowitz, Joseph D. Klein, Rose Kutzman Kushner, Isidore Liebeskind, Edgar R. Lyons, Ada Mesnikoff, Ida Michaels, Harriet Moulter Greenberg, Jenny Nieberg, Rita Olshan, Julius Pick, Leo Rosner, David Rosikoff, Edward Senekal, Rose Simon, Isidore Snitzer, Jacob Sohinki, Louis Sohinki, Jerome Tokars, MD, and Isaac Wertheim, Thelma G. Weissman, Melody J. Wolf, and Howard Yud. If you have other names in the chat box, I'll take a look now. Let's see. I think is Jason Marks. Oh, these are from before. Sorry, I see Levy Palmer Jr. and George Thee. So I encourage anyone whose custom it is to rise as we recite the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divra, Chirte, Yamlik Malchute, Bechayachon, Ubiamachon, Bechaye, Dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bizman, Kariv, Yimru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah, Bevarach, Bialam, Homei, Hamaya. Yitbarak, Yishtabak, Yitpa'ar, Yitramam, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitaleh, Yitalal, Shmei Kudashah, Berechu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlam rabba, min shemaya, chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom v'yimru mav, huya oseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru, amen. May God grant peace in our community and our world. And we say amen. Zikranam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated, and I'm going to turn it back now to Bruce Chorus.
Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. And thank you for showing your spirit by wearing your Shir Shalom strong paraphernalia. And a very special thank you again to Sheila Bernard Tucker for this awesome idea. If you were not able to pick up your CSS logo merchandise this week, please contact the temple office to arrange a time. And Rabbi, that was a great idea. We should get some of this for the gift shop. I think that's a great idea. And of course, as I mentioned last week, we are planning a service in the building. And in an ideal world, we'll be doing it late April. Stay tuned for more on that because we're starting to take steps again. So we're looking forward to doing that. And we're going to wear these. If you have a Shir Shalom mask, you're going to wear it that night. If you're one of the people that are in, it'll be small attendance and very strict guidelines that will be very strictly enforced. But we are, of course, looking forward to that. Thank you to Rabbi Alex Cantor Frank, Mike Frank, for tonight's very lovely service in honor of Shabbat and in honor of Shir Shalom Strong. Tomorrow morning, we will have Torah study at 9 a.m., Shabbat morning service, virtual Kiddush luncheon at 11. Both of those are on Zoom. The website will have those links. We have religious school on Sunday. And then for any religious school parents who happen to be watching this evening, there are some community school forums coming up online via Zoom. One is Sunday, one is Monday. So if you are a religious school parent and you did not get an email about that, reach out to Inav or Joanne about that, or the rabbi for that matter. Next Friday, we will have candle lighting at 6:45, Erev Shabbat service at 7, followed by a virtual Oneg Shabbat. Now the service and the Oneg will be on one Zoom, the candle lighting will be on another. And if you want to take part, obviously, in the service, you need to register. The candle lighting you can just come to without registering. Now, we got Passover coming up. We got a lot of good stuff coming up for Passover. We've got food, we've got services, we've got all sorts of stuff. The big event is going to be, we're very happy to be having a community second night Seder. That is, of course, on Sunday, March 28th, which is the second night. We will be having our friends from Temple Beth Tzedek, Temple Beth Zion, and Congregation Havurah. It will be on Zoom, and it will be really neat to all be together. We joke about it that we can only do this because we're not serving a meal, so we don't have to worry about kosher. And of course, our good friends at Temple Beth Tzedek are not going to do a 4-hour Seder. They're going to keep within our guidelines. It's going to be a really nice thing. So let's all try to be together for that. That's on the second night. There's information about that on the emails that have been going out. Other Passover stuff, the Rabbi and Cantor have created a Passover, a Zoom Megillah, I guess we're calling it, a Megillah on Zoom for people to use. That will be available, I think, on YouTube. We are sponsoring a Seder match for the first night of Passover for those who responded by the deadline, virtual only, of course, but we're doing our usual Jewish matchmaker thing of matching up people with Seders and Seders with people virtually this year again. We will be having a Passover Yizkor service on Saturday, April 3rd. That'll be at 10:30 a.m. There is a interfaith Seder that the rabbi works very hard on. That will be Tuesday. That's the Tuesday, the 30th, Rabbi.
That's actually this
coming
Tuesday,
That's
the
before
23rd.
Okay. That's this coming Tuesday. That's 7 o'clock on Zoom. There's emails about all of this stuff. Our app has all sorts of stuff on it for, we got the 4 questions on it, on the rituals to go section. And of course, if you got your name in for the Passover box, where you're going to be getting chocolate covered matzah and macaroons, not chocolate covered macaroons, chocolate covered matzah and macaroons for you to enjoy. And that pickup is this Thursday, correct, Joanne? Am I right?
Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. And there'll also be boxes of matzah for anyone that would like.
Oh, cool. Great. Excellent. So all sorts of Passover stuff coming up. We are looking forward to it. Last year, we were really, Passover was the first, real big experience of trying to deal with all of this, the pandemic stuff. And we did really well last year, and we're going to do really well this year. So we are here to meet your needs for this holiday. Then on the last night of Passover, when we're going to be eating pizza or something that's not matzah, Noah Boudin is joining us, which is really cool, along with David Boudin and Alan Douglas. They'll be joining the Cantor for a virtual concert. That is Saturday, April 3rd at 7 o'clock p.m. via Boxcast, Facebook, and YouTube. Those of you who have attended the summer services where Noah has come from Cleveland to join us, oh, it's just so much fun. It's just so great to have him. And he did a song for our Hanukkah extravaganza this past year as well. So we are looking forward to that. Saturday, April 3rd, Noah Boudin is back. That sounds like I can see a poster of a billboard. Noah Boudin is back at CSS. We should put that up along the Kensington. Anyway, if you need, see, who says we don't brag? Rabbi says, we don't. Julia texted me and she said, he says we don't brag. Does he not know you? I've spent the last 3 years as president. What have I been doing? Bragging about CSS. Who calls us the cool shul? Who spreads the word about us in the community? They're calling me Bragging Bruce. That's what I do because, listen, if you've got a lot to brag about, it's not bragging. It's just telling the truth. We're the cool shul. You talked about all what we've accomplished. And I'm so proud of what this temple has accomplished in 8.5 years. And as we look forward to the 10th anniversary, you know what's coming up 3 years after that? You're going to have to plan a B'nai Mitzvah for the temple. You're going to have to plan a B'nai Mitzvah for this temple on our 13th anniversary. Kvelling Bruce, that's even better. Kvelling Bruce, that's what I've been doing. So anyway, I'll stop now. If you need anything at all, please reach out to the rabbi, the cantor, Joanne, and myself. We are here for you. in this really remarkable temple. And we are so grateful to all of you for being part of this really wonderful temple family. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Bruce, thank you so much. And, you help uplift us in so many ways. Let me just explain a couple things because I think it's confusing and it's hard to understand myself. Okay, so for those of you that are like with your families and want a Haggadah that you can just do like what the cantor is doing here with slides, we have that available. And it will be sent out, and then you can do it on your own, however you want. Cantor and I will also record a first night light Seder that will also be broadcast on Saturday night, so a week from tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So you'll be able to see that on Boxcast. And we're not going to, it'll be more like a half hour, but we'll have a sense of the Seder. And those of you that want to participate, that won't be live. On the following night, the Sunday night, the communal Seder is live. We'd love to have you. It's I think, going to be a very unique experience. I also want to let you know, I just found out today that the Lieutenant Governor is coming to our interfaith, our JCRC, Jewish Community Relations Interfaith Seder on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So what a cool addition. They actually contacted us about it. I'm going to pass it over to Cantor and Mike because you got the wonderful song there to move towards some conclusion.
So it's bragging Bruce and kvelling chorus. Okay, choose which one you want us to call you. This song is called In This House, right? And what you have in front of you is the chorus. So every time we get to the chorus, I hope everybody will sing along. And does everybody recognize this piece of art and exactly where you can find this in the building? Anybody want to unmute for a minute and tell me or tell us all?
Cantor, this came over from Temple Sinai when the two congregations merged. And this is on the wall of the side of the building facing the parking lot. But this was one of the really beautiful pieces that came over to Sheridan Drive when the two congregations merged. Oh,
so here's a trivia. Do you know what there's four? There's four pieces. Do you know what the other three are?
No, but Terry DeBruin just said who that was made by. Hang on a second. Mr. Belinsky made that.
Wow.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, take a second look at them when you drive up to the parking lot next time. There's an open Sifrei Torah in there. There's a 10 Commandments, like the 2 tablets. And I don't remember what the next one was, but this is my favorite one of all 4 of them. And it's called In This House. And I hope when we get to the chorus, In This House, you will sing with me. In this house, it all comes together in this house. In this house, it all comes together in this house of God. In this house beats the heart of a family. In this house is the center of community. We study and we pray, find meaning in each day. In this house, in this house, in this house. In this house is the spark of God's creation. In this house there is joy and celebration. By song or by word, your prayers will be heard. In this house, in this house, in this house. Everyone! In this house, we all come together in this house. In this house, we all come together in this house
house we can shelter, we can clothe and feed. In this house there is always help for those in need. A stranger makes a friend, becomes inspired again. In this house, in this house, in this house. Everyone! In this house, in this house, we all come together in this house. In this house, in this house, we all come together in this house of God. A house of study, a house of prayer, a house of gathering from everywhere. How lovely are your dwelling places, O Israel. Blessing upon blessing build these walls. Everyone, last time. In this house, we all come together in this house. In this house, we all come together in this house of God.
That was wonderful, Cantor. And it feels so different being on the Zoom screen. We literally are at our houses, so it has a whole different meaning. I'm going to turn it over to Joanne for our Hamotzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen.
And this concludes our formal section of the service. We hope you'll stay around to schmooze with one another. We'd love to see you, and it's wonderful to be together. Thank you for being here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom all.